under a dresser.
I just can't stand his rage against the machines. The machines are here to help. Hello! Welcome back to another exciting installment of the Never Ever Show. I'm Heisenberg White, and with me today is one of the most prolific live streaming Predator enthusiasts I know. We've been good friends for a few years now, and fortunately I was lucky enough to get him to agree to do an interview with me between trying to illegally enter a women's fencing tournament in disguise and crying about the Chicago Bears, which do take up much of his time. You can catch him on his channel almost every Sunday night at 6:30 Central Time. He does live streams to talk about To Catch a Predator, shares his personal opinions, and wishes his many followers happy birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Clobbering Time.
Thank you, Heisenberg. I am thrilled to be here. I am a little upset that you mentioned the fencing thing. I told you that in confidence. I didn't think we were on, but that's okay. That's okay.
I'll have to tell my editors to cut that out. Hopefully I'll make a note of that later. But outside of those things, take us through the average day of Mr. Clobbering Time so that people know what it is that you spend your time doing.
I'll tell you, man, it's not as exciting as like you would think. Like if I'm not at work, I'm probably streaming or just like sitting around watching YouTube. You know, I'll go out and have a few I'll have a few highballs with the boys from time to time. But for the most part, man, I'm really kind of like I'm kind of a homebody. I just kind of chill, watch movies, and you know, if I'm watching like some Lorne stuff or you know, I really don't have I don't have a lot going on, you know what I mean? But I immerse myself. Like work is just so like busy for me that like when I have free time, I'm usually asleep or just kind of like chilling out.
I'm surprised with how busy you are that you still find the time to stream and talk as often as you do. Tell anybody who might not be familiar what it is you do on your channel and why, or how you're separated from the other people. What is your personal spin on the TCAP content?
Well, you know, I don't think I innovated anything. The only thing I really innovated was coming on at a regular time. So basically what I do is every Sunday night at 6:30, I do a Lorne Armstrong podcast live stream. And I just play Lorne calls and talk over them and go, yeah. And for some reason, you know, I think it really benefited me having a particular time slot. I think that was the only like innovation that I made. But I've gotten to a point where I've gotten a pretty good crowd show up. And I think a lot of that is because, well, most of it is because of the Lorne calls, because people love like the Lorne stuff. And then the fact that having a regular time slot where people know at 6:30 Central Time, you just pop on Clobbering Time's channel and he'll have some bullshit playing in the background, and you could talk to other people in the community.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're incredibly receptive to live comments as they come in. You're very responsive, and that high level of engagement is sort of nice. We're not just listening to some video you've already recorded in the past. Everything is happening live, which is nice. And even though some of it is still some of the old material that we've seen time and time again, every time there's something new to look forward to. There's something new to bring to the discussion. And as we learn more and more details come out and more time passes, you begin to see, you notice little details of things that start to pop up frequently. You notice certain traits of Lorne that don't seem to go away in Lorne and other Predators that we've discussed. But this isn't the TCAP show. This is the Never Ever Show.
Yeah, no, we talked about Lorne enough.
Yes. If you want to hear more about Lorne, like I said, every Sunday night, go check him out. I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you. I have 10 questions prepared, and you are absolutely allowed to ask me any questions or to respond to any of these questions. I think I'll answer most of them with you.
Okay.
This is my attempt to get to know you as a person. That way I can sort of gauge what your interests may be, because I think it should be a lot more of a discussion, less about what's your favorite movie, and more of these weirdly personal, specific questions that will help me get a better understanding. So, are you ready?
I'm ready, man. Let's do it.
All right, this may be a big one. What is the closest you've ever come to dying?
Oh shit. I mean, I remember the closest I felt to dying was when I had a kidney stone. But
Oof.
closest I've ever, yeah, that was the worst, man. That was absolutely the worst experience ever. Closest I ever came to dying. God, I don't know. I got it.
Have you driven in some bad winter storms?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, being from Chicago, you drive a lot where you're slipping all over the road. That reminds me, there was a time where I was driving up this hill. It's a highway, but it's a raised highway that goes over like train tracks, and it was January or whatever, and my car just did a complete. It did a 360.
Oh no.
Like, yeah, right. And I'm lucky it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, but it's still a pretty populated area where I live. I mean, I live on the south side of Chicago, so.
That is lucky. Wow.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the whole time I was spinning, man, that's when the whole life, and this was in high school, so I hadn't had much of a life. But what little life I did have, it would just flash right before my eyes. I was like, praying to God that there was not another. I didn't see another car anywhere, and I was hoping that like everybody was driving nice and slow so they wouldn't like hit this idiot who was like spinning like a fucking top on top of this hill. And eventually, like I just it, like I said, it did a complete 360, and I was able to just like apply the brakes a little bit and then just carried on. Like, yeah, you've driven in snow enough,
oh, yeah.
Heisenberg, so that you know that like once you get through that, you just go back on your way. Like,
yeah,
I had this near-death experience, and here I go. Okay, well, I guess off to 7-Eleven for me.
Yeah, I drive track.
You drive track?
I have trucks. I've owned trucks before, one at a time, not multiple, but. Yeah, several times I'll pull out of like a toll booth and hit the gas like way too fast and just kind of fishtail around for a second, and I'm like, woo! I'll just turn up the music and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, and then like 5 minutes later I was like,
yeah,
oh, I probably could have killed somebody. Maybe I should be more careful.
Yeah. And you don't even see that shit coming. Like all of a sudden you're cruising along, and then there's just ice or snow, and you don't even see it, and next thing you know, you're like, you're spinning.
Funny parallel to that story about you in the hill. About a year ago, when I was traveling for work, I got this lousy Hyundai Accent or something, really small car, not great, built for winter weather, that I was driving for work, and I came on a really it was in like a not a highway, like regular roads, big steep hill in this town I've never been in. There's a line of cars going very, very slowly up it, and it is snowing, and I'm like, oh, what's the holdup? Why are we moving so slow? I get on the hill. It's about maybe like a quarter of a mile long. I have my foot all the way on the gas, and I'm going 1 mile an hour. And if I took my foot off for 1 second, I probably would have slid back and hit everybody else. That was scary. I did not like that at all. So this year, when I was getting a rental car, and I went to Enterprise, I was like, what do you got? And they said, well, we got you this, cheap, economy class style car here, or we have like way too many trucks right now.
Oh, yeah.
Go check out a truck. I'm like, yeah, let's go see what you got. And they're like, you want a truck or you want like a big truck? I'm like, fuck it. I'll take the giant truck. So I've been driving this tank around for work for the last couple of weeks, and it's been great. It's handled so well and stuff. 4-wheel drive. I couldn't have asked for anything better. So I was very happy. Dodge Ram 2500. This truck is like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
More truck.
Give me the semi.
A human will probably ever need.
Yeah, man. When I got rid of my car, I bought a Jeep Wrangler, and that thing, there was no stopping that thing. I don't care if there was a zombie apocalypse. I don't care if there was snow. That thing just got through everything. 4-wheel drive. You couldn't block that thing from anything. If there was a snowbank, that goddamn thing was going to get through it, one way or the other.
Speaking of traveling, I'd like to know, how many states or countries have you visited in your life?
Countries, 2, and states,
Is that U.S. and Canada?
Oh, okay. So you're counting the U.S.?
Whatever, I guess.
I have visited the U.S. So okay, we'll say 3. And states, wow, probably.
Wait, what were the countries?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Canada, obviously. The Dominican Republic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's funny. The Dominican Republic, though, like we stayed at a resort, and you forget when you're at the resort that you're in a third world country until you go to and from the airport. Then you're painfully reminded that you're in just like
$1 million resort hotel surrounded by a complete impoverished nation. Has got to be kind of a mixed bag of emotions.
Yeah, you're going from a white sand beach to like, you know, driving down a dirt road where like you have to wait for the goats to get out of your way. It's a real kind of eye-opening thing. It's like you forget when you're at the resort like what you're in the middle of, and how once you take that ride back and even the airport, man, the airport is like there's one plane, one runway, you know, it's even that is like very third world country-ish, you know what I mean? And then states, I don't know, probably 15 states maybe.
That's pretty good. I think I'm about
Something.
the same.
Yeah.
East or West Coast have you visited more often?
More often, probably the West Coast. Yeah, I've been to California and Oregon and Nevada. And so yeah, I'd say the West Coast, and then all around the Midwest. Really, I haven't really been to the East Coast much.
I went to Chicago for the first time.
That's right.
A couple months ago, and that's I think the furthest west I've ever been in the U.S., which isn't very far. But I have been to London, England, and that's
something.
Home I've been.
That's right. The Harry Potter, the Harry Potter. You went to Hogwarts.
I sure did. Yep, I saw where they were. The movies were filmed. I was one man in a group of all women.
That's right.
That went on this trip. There was one other guy, but his girlfriend was on the trip too. So
yeah, he doesn't count.
At the hip, yeah. These were Potter super fans, and of course, I enjoyed the movie. I even read some of the books as a kid. I just don't see the hype now as an adult. You know, nostalgia is a powerful drug. I understand.
It sure is.
And it was a very cool tour. If anybody ever wants to go check it out, it's all the original set designs, props, and costumes. All these little interactive things that you can do there. It's really cool. So that's the furthest I've ever been from home. And outside of Canada, that's the only other country I've visited. Besides that, in the U.S.
That's still, I would love to go. I that's what I want to do more of is like what I'm hoping to accomplish more in the future is to get out there and see some more countries. I mean, I think I've seen just about everything I want to see in the States.
Sure.
Now I want to go to like other countries. You know, I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to England. You know,
eat different food, drink different drinks. You know,
sure.
People. It's exciting.
Yeah.
I need to do it more often. I'm going to New England, Massachusetts for the first time this week, actually.
Oh, nice.
For work. Well, so as a Bills fan, I'm not entirely thrilled about that, but you know.
Yeah, well,
I'll only be there for.
And it's going to be, you know, it's the spring, so all of the bad feelings, they don't come back till fall.
No, yeah, you're right. All right, now this is interesting because this was something that took me a long time to do to get around to doing it for the first time, like an embarrassingly long amount of time. But,
yeah.
What was the first concert you ever attended?
It was Alanis Morissette. In God, what year was that? Like 97?
Where was she performing?
It was at, I don't know what they call it now because like every one of these venues is now like rebranded. It was the World Music Theater on the south side of Chicago. That turned into the Tweeter Center. I don't know what the fuck it's called now because it's like Comiskey or in Chicago has been rebranded like 4 different times. It was Comiskey, then it was the U.S. Cellular, and then now it's like GuaranteedRate.com Stadium. So I don't know what they call the World Music Theater now, but that's where it was. It was a big outdoor venue in the.
How was the show?
She was great, man. I loved me some Alanis Morissette. I don't remember if she had anybody open. She probably did. I just don't remember who it was.
Do you remember how old you were?
Yeah, I was. God, I had to have been what. 97, so I was like 13, 14, something like that.
I don't think I got to go to my first real, I think I've told this story once or twice before, but my first, if you can even call it, real concert experience was when I was at the Jersey Shore, and I saw, in like 2016, I saw the Beach Boys.
Oh, yeah.
What's left of the Beach Boys.
Yeah, right.
Which was nice. It was a very small indoor event with a lot of old people, but...
Yeah.
It was good. They were vibing. It was a nice show. Followed up a year later in 2017 when I was 22 years old. I was 21 by the first time I went to my first concert, and 22 I went to Canada to watch the Gorillaz live, which was really cool, really fun.
Oh, yeah.
And since then, I've been to 2 almost kind of big concerts just because I could have gone for free. The first one was in the summer. The school I work for brings like a summer concert every year. It's never anybody like really good or relevant. It was Sean Kingston this year, who had some big hits in the day.
Yeah.
And I couldn't name 2 Sean Kingston songs.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
And it was free. So, and people were like, "You gonna come to the concert?" I was like, they're like, it's less than a mile from your house and it's free. And I was like, all right, fine, yeah, I'll go. So I went with a couple of friends, and it was all right. It was not the opening act, I think, was better than he was. He did not perform very long either. And just like 2 months after that, I was talking with this girl who lived a little bit of a ways from me, but was coming to Buffalo where I live for a concert happening in, I want to say maybe November. And she had originally gotten tickets for her and her boyfriend, but they had split up, and she had this extra ticket, and some friends were going, do you want to go? And I was like, sure. So I saw the Chainsmokers, which very popular. Everybody likes it. It was a good show. Very visual. They had some cool... They had one of those, like, at one point, one of those steel balls come out with like the motorcyclist inside doing the loops in the ball.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was really cool. That's what
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they put on like that big of an extravaganza. But I mean, they are a popular band, so I could see it.
Again, I really don't know or like any of their music. I just went because
right. Oh, sure.
I got pretty drunk at that concert. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I've been there, man. I've been in a few mosh pits that I probably that I'm probably still recovering from to this day.
This is exciting though, because I was always so hesitant because none of the groups I ever liked ever came to Buffalo. Even when I was young, I really couldn't go out. I mean, outside of like when WWE would come tour, there was like never anything that exciting happening in Buffalo. But I finally, for the first time, about a couple of weeks ago, bought my tickets for the first real like good show coming to Buffalo. I'm super excited for. It's the Rage Against the Machines tour with Run the Jewels.
Oh, nice!
And I'm like both of those groups so much. So
hell yeah!
I'm so excited. I bought those tickets when they went live at 11 o'clock a.m. on a Thursday, and by 11 o'clock they were only like 300 section only.
Yeah,
like they sold out real fast.
That's awesome, man. Hopefully the guy from Rage doesn't get arrested between now and then for climbing on some shit or making some kind of political statement and lying in front of a tractor or whatever crazy shit he does.
I just can't stand his rage against the machines. The machines are here to help.
He's raging, man. Hey, he is exactly as advertised. That dude rages against that goddamn machine.
I'm more excited about Run the Jewels, though, to be honest. I don't know if you've ever heard them before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love me Run the Jewels.
Yeah, they're good. Okay,
here's a sad question.
Uh-oh.
What was the most disappointing food you've ever eaten?
Oh, man. Gosh. I keep hearing about, like, the Popeye's chicken sandwich. You remember how that was, like, last year where, like, people were killing each other for the Popeye's chicken sandwich? And I'm like, I gotta get a hold of me of a Popeye's chicken sandwich because there's blood flowing in the streets because of this stuff. And I had it, and I much prefer like KFC or Chick-fil-A or basically anyway. It was fine. It was okay. But
you wouldn't kill anybody.
Well, I did, but I mean, it wasn't because of the chicken sandwich. It was just it was Thursday. But yeah, no, it wasn't, like why people were waiting that. I mean, I guess it was a big deal to people because they'd never had one before. But yeah, man, when I had it, I was extremely disappointed.
I can't even remember the last time any sort of food had that much hype around.
I know, right? Like, and that was a big thing, man. Like they were selling them out
for a chicken sandwich.
For a Popeyes chicken, for a fast food chicken sandwich. Like people were actually like rioting in the streets over that shit, and it was like I said, it was fine.
Well, they got you to buy one, so I mean, I guess.
Yeah, oh no, the hype machine caught me. They caught me hook, line, and sinker, and I bought one, and that's probably the last one I'll ever buy.
Something that listeners of this show will soon learn are going to be something that is going to appear as a reoccurring theme is my hatred and disdain towards Moe's.
Yes.
They are not good.
I remember that.
Chipotle is better.
I don't know what Moe's is. Is that like a chain in the East, or is that...
You ever been to Chipotle?
Chipotle, I know.
Okay, picture that. Worse environment, worse quality food, and their queso tastes like vomit.
Oh, well, that...
And my word is the truth. Nobody can tell you otherwise. I'm 100% true. Don't even...
But what, is that a chain somewhere?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I've seen them all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think we have them here.
I said, well, stay away if you...
Okay, thank God they don't have them here, I guess.
Yeah.
Now I'm staying away. I thought when I first heard you talk about Moe's, I was like, did you get a flaming Moe, Heisenberg?
Oh, I wish.
I thought you meant the Moe's Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're not gonna badmouth Moe's Tavern. They have pickled eggs for $1.
Moe's in the show The Simpsons is better than Moe's the Mexican place.
I would imagine. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Some people are really like fiercely defending Moe's, but
really, wow, I've never heard of it. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Well, we'll keep it that way then. Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm going to. I'm steering clear.
All right, here's a good one for you. What's wrong with the kids today?
There's something wrong with the kids today. I don't know what it is. You know what it is, Heisenberg? It's social media. Social media is the devil, man. Everybody's got their phones and everybody's on Twitter and Facebook, and there's no privacy, and it's so easy to like how do you... I don't even know how you would conduct a test now or have a report due when there's anything that you could ever want on YouTube or on, just Google whatever you're looking for. I don't know how anybody learns anything now. Because like when I was a kid, there was dial-up, but that didn't do jack shit. So I don't know, man. I think this social media culture is the issue. And it doesn't help that now we have influencers. I think that's what's wrong. Like anybody who is
promotion of this nearly unobtainable lifestyle.
Yeah, like people like Jake Paul and shit like that, who have no discernible talent but are multi-millionaires. And I guess people see that shit and they think, oh, I could do that too. And then you got the prank channels and people are legit dying. Like the girl who shot her boyfriend because she was gonna shoot through a book or whatever. People are just thirsty for fame, but they're not willing to do any of the work to get it. So they pull stunts and they do shit on we should not know who Kim Kardashian is.
We know way too much.
That's the problem with the kids today, Heisenberg, is they know who Kim Kardashian is. 15 years ago, we wouldn't have known who Kim Kardashian was, and that's the way it should be.
Social media, that's a good answer, by the way, because you have this dichotomy. On the one hand, everybody has a voice, but because everybody has a voice, it's sort of lost its impact.
Yeah.
To go on Twitter and say some sort of opinion, and even to get retweeted by 10,000 people, will be forgotten in half a day.
Of course, yeah.
Completely irrelevant. But at the same time, that same medium to communicate can be so harmful and detrimental to people. It's so much harder to spread positivity through social media than it is negativity. Between cancel culture or cyberbullying, especially.
Yeah.
People think if I say some mean shit on Facebook or Twitter, get over it. It's not a big deal. But it really does hurt people a lot more than they realize. They're not words that they can just hear and forget. It's there in their face for a long time. Yeah,
and not only do the people in wherever, their school or their work, you're talking about thousands of people who don't even know these people. They see it too. So you got a bigger audience, so you're getting attacked from people you don't even know these fuckers. And that's the thing is it's weird to complain about that just because, like, for both of us, like, we're both on YouTube, so we both put content out there. So
I don't think I've ever seen you get any hate, and that's deserved.
oh, I do, dude. I get it every day of my life.
No shit.
Oh yeah, every day. Every day somebody is telling me to shut the fuck up, clobber, and play the call. And
Yeah, that's not unique to you though. That's for whatever reason people click on a video titled like "Analysis Breakdown Narrated."
I know, right?
Yeah, just play the clip.
Yeah, right. But like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, if it wasn't, it's kind of weird because if it wasn't for social media, and I'm considering YouTube a form of social media, obviously, I wouldn't be doing the YouTube channel. I wouldn't have met as many cool people, such as yourself, if it weren't for social media. And I got a good amount of subscribers because of that. It's kind of weird to complain about it, but at the same time, I see just how bad it could be if you're really, really like. I guess it's one of those things where if you're using it for the right reason,
yeah, that's what I was going to say, because if it was up to me, I really would just abandon it altogether. I need it as a sense of just keeping up with some things that are going on, but
sure.
The best use of my time, in my opinion, is when I can retweet or share things that my friends have done, or family, or anybody who's ever done anything artistic or creative or put themselves out there in any sort of way. I'd love to be able to say, look what, this person I knew did this.
Yeah.
This is so, go subscribe to them, go follow them, go pay for their services, go order something from them. I'd love that. To share merchandise. I have friends that have merchandise,
Yeah, well, I mean, you were one of the very first guys who was kind of beating the drum on Mr. Gigi. I think you were one of the first. I think I heard of him through you. You were probably in his first 100 or 200 subscribers or something. Like you were
somewhere between maybe the first 500 and 1,000, maybe even before then. But yeah, not only was what he was doing awesome,
mm-hmm.
but behind the scenes, and this is the case across a lot of our community, behind the scenes, they were just great people.
Yeah.
They were open to advice and criticism. They were friendly and knowledgeable about the things they were doing, but weren't afraid to, to try and experiment or learn more things. He's gotten much bigger, along with some of my other friends who have watched their channels grow throughout these last couple of years, and they still, every now and then we'll exchange texts and just be like, hey, congratulations on this big achievement, thank you, hope you're doing well. We still exchange pleasantries like that, and that's just, humility and talent will get you very far on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
And earn you a lot of longevity.
But the problem is, the social media that I was complaining about, people like Jake Paul, who are the opposite of that,
untalented,
that also
selfish, and
and egotistical. That also gets you very far
in the short term.
So it's kind of, yeah. I guess you're right.
But there are so many great people and friends that I made here that have not surprised me, because I knew that they were going to be successful, but I'm still very impressed with how far they've come. And to be honest, I think even by this point, maybe next year, you may be looking at double or even triple your current subscribers.
I hope
just for being yourself, which is great. You have some good thoughts and points, and I can tell in the future, if and when you do break out into other things, I think you'll have a very committed fan base that will follow.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you, Dan.
At least I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. I love doing the Lauren stuff, and I probably will always do the Lauren stuff, and I'll always do the Sunday with Cod. Well, not always, but for the foreseeable future, I don't see myself stopping that. But I do have other interests, obviously, and we're going to be talking about movies and TV and stuff. But yeah, I did a Neil Breen stream not long ago, and I watched the Cooking with Kay and stuff. So there's other stuff that I like that I want to dive into more, and hopefully people will be okay with it. Either way, I'm gonna do it, but hopefully I don't lose too many people.
It would be wise to follow, otherwise I think they would miss out on something pretty cool.
Thank you, Heisenberg. And I gotta say, I've always been a big fan of yours, and I like that you're kind of venturing off to kind of do other things. I'm really a big fan of this show.
It's been a pleasure to do something new, but with the same community that has kept me somewhat interested and relevant.
And that's what I love about the show is you think of Clobbering Time as, oh, he's the Lorne guy who goes, yeah, 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 but you know, you don't really know too much about it. It's nice to be able to talk about other things, and it was nice to hear Wes and Arrested and Baked talk about, you know, other things other than pornography or To Catch a Predator.
They've been some great guests and longtime friends as well.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
All right, speaking of like getting to know each other in terms of media that we're interested in, I want to know, in your opinion, what is a cinema classic that should be talked about more but isn't? This can be a genuine answer or an ironic one. So
a cinema classic that you mean it's considered a cinema classic,
that you consider a cinema classic.
Oh, that I consider a cinema classic. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know if it's under the radar or not, but I always wanted Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to get more love than it does. You know what I mean? I think of that as a seminal, like, holiday.
Can I admit something to you?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? It's great, man. It's really great. I always thought that should be in the rotation of It's a Wonderful Life and Elf and all these great holiday movies. And Home Alone, stuff like, because for me, I like it more than Home Alone. It takes place, you know, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, so it's, you know, right in that wheelhouse. It's basically a holiday movie, and you know, everybody who's seen it loves it. I've never heard anybody say I don't like that movie, but yeah, I just don't know why that's not. I don't know why TNT isn't showing that. You know, why it's always like Home Alone or Elf or. I mean, I guess it's probably because it's rated R and rated R for...
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, but it's rated R because of essentially one scene where Steve Martin just drops the F-bomb like 150 times in like 10 minutes. But
nice.
Other than that, it's pretty like... It's a John Hughes movie, so it's a pretty tame movie.
Have you ever heard of the movie Lawless with Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy?
Yeah, Tom Hardy,
I saw that when
yeah.
it was in the theaters, and there was a lot of hype around it before I saw it. And normally, I just don't see standalone action films outside of, you know, John Wick or the Marvel movies. But
yeah, right.
That was a great movie, and then like everybody forgot about it. And it's always on like I see these listicles online of like 10 hidden gems on Netflix that nobody has ever heard of, and that's always on there.
Yeah, it should be. Lawless was a great movie. Didn't that come out like right around the time like Shia LaBeouf was having his breakdown?
I think the movie came out in 2012. I think the meme of the "do it," you know, sort of thing came out 2 years later, and then I think around election time is when he really like lost it. Yeah.
Okay.
The election of 2016.
Maybe it was just like it doesn't seem like many movies that like take place in that era really catch on. Like I don't think a lot of them aren't really big box office successes, and that was, you know, at the time, like nobody really knew who Tom Hardy was at that time. That was before Dark Knight Rises and Mad Max and all the stuff that he's, you know. Yeah, Mad Max is a shit, man.
I watched it this weekend for the first time in a while with my girlfriend, and it's such a feat. Like you can't believe what you're seeing. Like, oh, how much CGI did this take? Like most of it wasn't CGI.
None at all. Like, yeah, there's barely any CGI in that movie. That director is he's great, man.
I would be afraid to work with him.
Yeah, I would be too. Yeah, yeah. No.
It's like we're gonna put you in a jetpack and just launch you into the desert.
Right.
And just wear this helmet.
We're gonna need you to lay perfectly still because we're gonna run over you with a tank. But don't worry, there's a little space in between the wheels where you should be fine.
We're gonna have to do this 30 or 40 times just to make sure.
That's right. And every one of his movies takes place in like a desolate wasteland. It's always in the outback of Australia or something.
If anybody hasn't seen Mad Max Fury Road, when are they going to make another one?
I don't know. That one did really, really well. I expected them to pop out another one, but
that's what I thought. Yeah, they killed it at the awards show.
They did, man.
They won all these technical and cinematography awards. And it was even nominated Best Picture. I knew it probably wasn't going to win, but I thought it deserved it.
Yeah, I think so too. And that director, I think I don't think he rushes into projects. I mean, like, when was before Fury Road? What was the last Mad Max movie? Was it the 80s maybe?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a director, I guess, who just doesn't. He doesn't cash in on. I mean, he's also the guy who did Babe and Babe in the Pig in the City. So
Well, he built a world in this one movie out of an already existing property, but it was completely standalone. You didn't have to watch other movies to understand this.
No, not at all.
Universe in just an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what's great about that guy. Every one of the Mad Max movies, you don't have to have seen any of the previous ones to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd like to know, when you are having your days off and you're lounging and you want to scroll through something to watch, something to take up your time, what streaming services do you have, or are you hoping to join?
Well, you know what? I have really all I have is Netflix right now. I'm thinking about Disney Plus, but
Disney Plus is so...
I mean...
They put out a notice saying, hey, if you pay for a year's subscription, you'll actually save like $60 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, well, let me do that. So I dropped like $120. And then like 2 weeks later, they were like, all Verizon Unlimited customers get Disney Plus for free for a year.
Yeah,
I'm like,
of
God
course.
damn it.
They always do that shit. Hulu does that. A bunch of these companies do that.
Right. So if you have Verizon, you can just get it for free.
Yeah. I don't have Verizon, but I'm a little on the fence with Disney Plus. Well, I am dying to because they have all the Marvel stuff and they have The Simpsons on there.
That's all I've been using for The Simpsons and The Mandalorian. And even as like a non-Star Wars fan, I found The Mandalorian to be incredible. I think you should get it for a month and blast through it. And then
maybe
delete it.
Yeah, that's actually probably not a bad idea. But I mean, they have this catalog of 20th Century Fox films now because Disney owns 20th Century Fox that will never see the light of day. Because they want to be nothing harder than PG-13.
Well, what I heard is Disney owns a big stake in Hulu, and I think most of their R-rated properties now that aren't necessarily Disney friendly are going to end up there.
Right, so I'd subscribe to Hulu before I would Disney Plus. That's
sure.
kind of my point. Is like if Disney Plus would throw the R-rated properties like the Aliens movies or the Deadpool stuff, then I would be all in on Disney Plus. But right now, other than the Marvel stuff, there's really and they have the National Geographic stuff I like too. Other than that, I don't really see. For me, I don't really watch a lot of movies and stuff, so or lately. I mean, so yeah, my attention span is just gone lately. So I my attention span is 2 minutes, and I'm already when's somebody gonna get shot? That's why a movie like Deadpool is perfect for me. Somebody is getting shot, or Ryan Reynolds is making a sarcastic quip every 2 minutes. So that's perfect for an idiot like me. So yeah, I just have Netflix right now.
Okay. Well, next I wanted to ask you, this is probably something you will remember. What was the biggest purchase you've ever made?
Well, I bought my condo. Well, yeah, the condo that I used to live in was the biggest purchase.
Is that or do you pay rent or a mortgage?
No, it was a mortgage.
Uh-huh.
So you talk about something that I purchased. You talk about something that I
dropped money down at one time
and owned it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't be you talk about something that I paid for at once and then didn't have to make any payments. Okay. Shit.
For me, I can't remember, but it's either my computer that I'm using now or my television. Which I bought a couple of months ago. It was $1,200. Yeah,
you know what? I would say it's probably my TV. It was about $1,000.
You got a nice TV?
Yeah, I got a pretty nice one.
I have a Samsung Smart TV.
That's what I have.
65 inches, I think.
I don't quite measure, as usual. I don't quite measure up to you, Heisenberg.
I want a big one.
I'm a few inches less than you, as usual. So
I think thank you, but I think I'll just sell it and get a projector. Just use the whole wall.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. That's the kind of setup I would like too, man. But if I got that, I'll tell you, I would probably almost never leave the house. So
I could put it on the ceiling and just lay in bed and and watch TV.
Yeah, I would never get out of bed. That would be the thing. It's like I would be like I'm pretty unproductive now. If I got a setup like that, it would just be done. I'd be the most unproductive piece of shit in the world. So yeah, I'd say my TV is probably the biggest purchase I made.
You're not a $3,000 sneaker kind of guy?
No, man. Like, I'll go to like Payless and buy like, just a pair of shit Pumas or whatever, and just wear them into the ground. Or
I'm the same.
Yeah, the Chuck Taylors or whatever. I'll just wear them until they fall apart, and I'll just buy another one. I used to be into the Jordans and stuff when I was in high school and stuff, but now it's like I can't justify spending that kind of money on a pair of shoes, $200, $1,000, whatever it is.
Yeah, sports is something that you and I talk about a lot.
All the time.
I'd like to know, what was your favorite sports moment that you lived to see, be it on television or in person, but in your lifetime that you've lived to see?
That's easy. The White Sox winning the World Series, man. I never thought that I would ever see that. And not only did they win the World Series, they steamrolled their way through the World Series.
What year was that?
It was 2005. And I was actually at one of the games where Paul Konerko hit a grand slam to win the game. It was the bottom of the ninth, and he won the game with a grand slam. It was that was like I could not tell you. The Bulls won all those championships, when I was a kid. And I got to see Michael Jordan play. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean I could say that I lived through that, but I never thought like the White Sox would ever like get over that hump.
The White Sox.
The White Sox. I never thought they would get over that hump, and when they did, man, I couldn't express how it was just unbelievable. And not only that, but living in Chicago, there's a big rivalry, I guess you could say, or hatred between White Sox fans and Cub fans.
Yeah.
And to walk around with...
It's like Yankees and Mets.
Yeah. To walk around... Because like half of my friends are Sox fans and half of my friends are Cub fans. It's really weird because we're all from like the same neighborhood, so I don't know how they became Cub fans, but they did somehow. And to be able to like shove that in my friends' faces for, then eventually the Cubs won the World Series, and that was...
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, you want to talk about the most miserable time of my life. It was that year. But yeah, no, the White Sox winning the World Series, man, that like, I'll always remember, and they just dominated their way through the playoffs, and I'll always remember watching, they won the World Series on the road at Houston, and it was just, and I've seen the Bulls win championships, I've seen the White Sox win championships. I've seen the Blackhawks would dominate for a while, and I'm a big Blackhawks fan too. But nothing, because I have White Sox T-shirt. Like I'm a big White Sox fan. So
that's got to be nice to watch a team win the championship that you support. Can't relate myself.
Yeah, no. You don't have. Is there any team that you follow that won anything?
Well, this may come as a surprise to you, but I happen to follow the Buffalo Bills football team.
You don't say.
Yeah.
The Bills, huh?
Now, this year, they earned a playoff spot with at least 2 or 3 games left in the season, which was...
They did.
I mean, and even the game against the Steelers, it really came down to like one of the last plays, but to secure the playoff spot much earlier than before was nice. And the playoff game was actually pretty damn good up until about the halftime. It sort of fell apart. But yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, you couldn't write a more intense moment than 2 years prior, 2017. We finally, win our last game in Miami. I think we're 9-7 at that point. We can get in if the Bengals, who were sucking, could beat the Ravens, who were kicking ass the whole year. But the Bengals held in there, and it was same sort of thing. About a minute or two left, and the Bengals had the ball. This is the last chance they're going to get the ball before the
I remember
this kneel. And Andy Dalton throw, catch, or interception, penalty. Holy shit! It was 4th and 12. And from about his own 40-yard line, throws this perfect threading the needle pass to Boyd, I believe, and he runs it in. Me and my brother were watching. It was New Year's Eve, and my brother, who we are separated by because we just live in different states now, because where he goes to school and where I live. But he came up with me, and I think as soon as it happened, he jumped up and screamed. I knew that there was still like a minute left in the game. I'm like, let me contain myself for a second here. But as soon as the game was over, we looked at each other and just hugged and ran outside. It was about 20 degrees, snow everywhere, and we stripped in our underwear and just ran through the streets and just screamed.
Oh, you gotta.
Shotgun a beer. And we were like, never in our lifetime has this ever happened. And then in the playoff game, we lose like 9-3. And it was awful.
Right, of course. You know what I remember about that? Like, the Bills fans really, like, they donated like crazy to Andy Dalton's charity. Right, yeah. And yeah, I saw an ESPN special about that. Like how
he's a more popular quarterback than probably a lot of Bills quarterbacks have.
I would think, yeah. I would think he would edge out Tyrod.
Just barely, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But man, that was fun. I was just watching for the whole week or two before the playoffs started, the just video compilations of big crowds reacting to that play and just people erupting and screaming and crying. That was like a real out of something out of Hollywood. Like you couldn't have made it more difficult than the last second of the last play on a 4th and 12. Like,
you know what? You know what's funny about your best sports memory? It didn't involve the team that you were rooting for. I mean, it did, but like,
yep. That's why it felt a lot better this year when we actually earned it ourselves and we didn't rely on anybody else. But still, just in that like praying, like, God, please hear me out here.
Oh, I've been there, man.
Make this happen, and it did, and we couldn't contain ourselves.
Yeah, that was a great game.
I have only one more question for you.
Sure.
This may be related to that sports question. When was your greatest hangover, and how long did it take to recover?
Yeah, definitely not related to my sports question. When I think I was just out of high school. Yeah, I was probably just out of high school. I remember I had no idea like what tequila what that does to the human body. So I was just drinking it like fucking crazy. I woke up. It's one of the very few times like I got so drunk that I blacked out. I woke up and I was under a dresser somehow under one of my friends, because we were drinking at my friend's house. I was killing like the Jello shots and shots of vodka and just drinking tequila out of the bottle like a fucking idiot. And yeah, I woke up under a dresser and like I didn't know where I was. I didn't know, and I probably threw up for about 6 months after that. I was pretty useless to basically everybody in my life for a good amount of time after that, and I've never drank tequila since. I
have a very similar story to that.
Yeah,
involving some slightly different circumstances in alcohol. I was just out of high school as well. I was a very good boy in high school. I never drank or did drugs. I was what they would call a nerd, I guess you would say. I think my parents probably thought that whenever I said I was going to do something lame at a friend's house, they're like, he's probably going to drink. And I was like, no, I'm actually going to do that lame thing that I said I was going to do. But when I got to college, I was like, all right, all bets are off. I'm going headfirst into this. So I went to my cousin's apartment, who was also going to school at the same school I was. She was a junior and just got her own off-campus apartment, which was like our safe haven to just go crazy because it wasn't on campus. And it was the week before Halloween. I don't remember if I've ever told this story or not, but the week before Halloween, and I show up with a 6-pack of Hornsby's hard cider that we got at the beer store I worked at because it just sat on the shelf too long and they just had to give it away. So it was like,
nice, yeah, might as well.
I've never had cider before that point, hard cider at least. I show up and they're like, look, we making whiskey sour shots. I was like, oh, sweet. I don't know what that is, but I'll try it.
Yeah.
And it was good. And that night just went cider, sour, cider, sour, cider, sour, cider, sour, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this is one of, like your story, one of the only times I've ever like really blacked out. And the plan was to pregame at our apartment, get dressed in a Halloween costume, and go to this Halloween party we were planning. But we were waiting because some friends were supposed to show up and go with us. But while we were waiting, that's when things got out of hand and
yeah, as they do,
way too fast. And I close my eyes and I wake up. I'm on the couch. It's still nighttime, and the friends have arrived. Don't remember when they came. And I just remember the girl that just showed up, like, putting her hand on my knee and saying, like, you should probably stay here today. You don't want to be the freshman to pass out at a party.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Again, I close my eyes. I wake up. I'm in the kitchen vomiting in the sink.
Yeah. I've been there, man.
Close my eyes. I'm upstairs now in bed.
It makes you question your life choices when you're
Sure does.
When you're hunched over a sink vomiting.
Yep. Well, it's funny that I vomited there because my cousin came up to tuck me into bed and she's like, "Okay, we're gonna go out. You have a good time. You got a good night's sleep." I'm like, "I love you so much."
Yeah.
And I go to sleep. They get about 30 seconds after that before one of them comes up and vomits in the toilet and the other comes up and vomits in the shower. So we
it's a vomitorium
place. Yes, it is. Both of them were out just like me. I just went out about a minute before they did, and their friends were like, "Are you guys are you guys not going to go out tonight now?" And all three of us had to stay in because we got so sick.
Yeah.
I felt that hangover for 3 days at least.
Yeah.
It didn't get better every day. It was the same level of hangover for like 3 days.
That's exactly how I felt, man. Like I was just waiting for it to get better, and I'm like cursing the Lord because it never ever did.
I will never drink again until next week.
Right, yeah. That's right. I stayed.
It did take me about 2 more weeks to try any alcohol, but to this day, hard apple cider is no go for me, which sucks because it's a gluten-free drink and probably would be something that I should have on the diet that I'm on.
Sure.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, no.
Apples are fine, but as soon as I smell like apple cider like that, I shiver.
Yeah, no, that's where I am with the tequila, man. I just I don't want to be anywhere near it.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Clobbering Time. We have reached the end of my questions. Before I move into the next segment, was there anything you wanted to ask me, or should we just go ahead and dive right into it?
I do. I have a 2-part question for you.
Ooh, goody.
Okay. So, first part is, do you have any, like, I guess you would say, like, a hidden skill, or even like something that is like something stupid that you're really good at, that like that, like, you know, will never serve you any use, any practical use? Like, do you have any kind of, like,
right.
hidden skill? That's part one. And part two.
Thing two
is, how long is your penis? And now, if that's too personal, you could just add. You
question, but it's actually only one answer.
Yeah, you could. If that's too personal, you could just answer the second part.
Oh, right. Yeah, thank you. As a completely useless skill, something you may one day witness if you're lucky.
No.
As we discussed before we went live, I'm not a gamer. I am terrible at first-person shooters. I am terrible at so many popular video games. Outside of, like, Super Smash Brothers, which I can, like, hang with a little bit, I'm not very good at anything else. Except one game that no matter the version, no matter if it's on mobile or on the Switch, or if I'm using a GameCube controller or whatever, I'm a master of Tetris.
Oh shit, are you really?
I'm a crazy good Tetris player. Tetris 99 is a game that came out a few years ago. It's a battle royale Tetris where every time you clear a line, it adds a line to some other player, and you just go until you eliminate it. I haven't gotten first place yet, but I have gotten second and third a couple of times. And it's very cutthroat, very fast, but Tetris, I'm, like, addicted to it. I can't shut it off. Like, when I get started, that's the only game where I'll sit down at, like, 2 p.m, play for a while, and then look over the clock, and it's like 7 o'clock. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And my penis is 3 inches. Thank you.
Oh, yep. That's same here. Yeah, no, I'm a Tetris fan too. I'm definitely not as good as you are.
Do you have a Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't have a Switch.
We could play Tetris 99 together, actually.
Oh, you'd fucking annihilate me. I once that music starts getting really fast, I start fucking panicking.
No, I wait for it to get fast. Is when I can, like, really think on my feet fast like that. That's when I get really good.
Yeah, no, that's when I have an anxiety attack, and I just like run away from the phone or whatever I'm playing Tetris on.
Right. And of course, there's no practical use for that. There's not even like a transferable skill. Like outside
No.
of like if I'm helping somebody move and they're like, "How are we gonna fit all this furniture in this car?" Yeah, I might be
Right.
like, well, band's time to shine. Let's go.
Do 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 do. That's when that music just starts playing in your head, and every box is a 4 block figure.
Tetramina, or I think they're called Tetramina.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, but yes, that was a great question. Thank you. Listen here, I already have some ideas of things I'd like for you to check out this week.
Right.
And time-wise, we both work pretty busy schedules, but we tend to be free around this
Yeah.
time each week. So we can aim for next week. But if you need additional time,
Okay.
that's no problem.
I think we could do next week.
Okay, so I have a couple of suggestions for you here. I've got a TV, movie, album, the musical artist I want you to check out, as well as the wild card. The wild card is easy for me. I want you to get Disney Plus for a month.
Okay. That's
And watch The Mandalorian and watch The Simpsons to your hearts.
yeah.
And let me know if you think something that is going to be worth renewing after a month.
Yeah.
So if you were looking for a sign or a push to try it, this is it.
Yep. Okay. That seems fair enough. I can do what is it, $12.90, whatever it is. Yeah, I can.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah, I can invest in a month of Disney Plus. I was thinking about getting it. So.
Well, there you go. Okay. Now, TV. There's a show that ran on Comedy Central for a while that I know some members of this community especially love, or would love if they haven't seen it, you too. Nathan For You was on Comedy Central for quite a few years. It's on Hulu now, but there's other places you can get it. I would love for you to check that out.
All right. Yeah, I have never heard of it. Is there any stars in it that I?
Nathan Fielder is the main host of the show.
Okay.
It is, the premise is all I'll give you, but because each episode is very different. But he goes to business owners, small business owners, and gives them business advice. But it's always terrible, awful, ridiculous, stupid advice. But
I love
he
it.
delivers it with such confidence that they agree to it, and it's just watching it unfold. And 80% of the time, it does exactly what you think it would. But the other 20%, it works insanely well, much beyond anybody's expectation. And I think that is something, the comedy in that is something I think you will get a big kick out of. So I want you to check
That sounds right up my alley, man. That sounds great. You guys going around bankrupting businesses?
Pretty much, yeah. There's a movie on Netflix. There's a lot of hidden gems on Netflix, like we were just talking
There
about.
is, yeah.
Something that I never saw it get wide release. I don't think it's a Netflix original. It might be. I don't think it is. I think it might have been purchased by Netflix and it wasn't widely distributed. Is this movie called Circle?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen it?
No, I never even heard of it.
Great.
It must be a. I'm thinking it might be a Netflix original because most of the movies that are released, I've at least heard of, but that one.
Not to be confused with this current show on Netflix called The Circle.
Right.
This movie is a suspense horror whodunit alien movie.
I love whodunits, man.
But it's more. It's not a who. It's they're trying to solve a mystery throughout the show or throughout the movie, but it's much more of a character piece. You see so many different types of people. The whole movie takes place in a single room, though. So I've never seen anything like it, and I just love the premise and I love the execution. I think you will like it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. That sounds like right up my alley. I'm a sci-fi guy, so yeah, I'm down, man.
Now, last week, I suggested Wes check out the Avalanches, which is one of my favorite bands of all time, and he enjoyed it. And I'm thinking you will like something kind of similar. There's a musical artist on YouTube called Pogo who has a couple of singles and a couple of albums released along the same genre type that the Avalanche makes, which is plunderphonics. As I explained it last week, it's sort of like building a song off of little tiny snippets of other songs to make a whole new song. But it's very catchy and it's not about lyrics at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just about sound, but it just strikes on a different range of emotions than I think most traditional music does, and it's something I think you'll appreciate just because it's different and it's very catchy and it's something new. So
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it sounds like something I would like. I do love a catchy tune, Heisenberg.
It's no I Love Your First, but you know.
Well, what is?
Well, those are my 4 things I would like for you to check out. Nathan, for you, Circle, Pogo, and Disney Plus. What would you like me to do?
I'm very much looking forward to that. So, have you seen? Okay, you've obviously for TV, you've seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
You've seen. What about Parks and Rec? Do you watch that?
Oh yeah. For movies, you should do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I was thinking that, but there was a movie that I had in mind.
Right.
That yeah, I'm trying to. How about Ozark? Do you watch Ozark?
No.
Okay, that'll.
That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So, okay, Ozark. For movies, my favorite movie of all time, and I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen The Crow?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of the sequels though.
Yeah, they're garbage.
Yeah.
Have you seen Uncut Gems?
Only half of it. I haven't finished it.
Oh, okay. You haven't watched that. You know what? I'll just do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles then.
Fair enough. That's again something that's been on my list for a long time. I see it on, I see it pop up everywhere, and people talk about it. I'm like, should I set it? Like, is it like too late for me at some point? Is what I think. Like, is
man.
Comedy still good today as it was then?
Yeah. It is. That movie holds up surprisingly well.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
It was made in the '80s, but like, other than like the cars, it doesn't feel like it was made in the '80s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can check out Ozark and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. How about music?
Music, there's I know you like you're a fan of like classic rock, and so there's they do a lot of covers, and I recommend listening.
Have you ever heard of the Beatles?
I was just about to ask you if you've heard of them. They do a lot of Beatles covers actually, and it's these 2 girls who play all their own instruments, and they're called the Mona Lisa Twins. And like they have original songs too, and they're fantastic.
Huh. This is on YouTube?
Yeah, they're on YouTube, and I recommend their original songs, but their cover songs are just amazing. They use a lot of the same like they use some of the artists who were in like some of the original versions, and they do they do like Beatles songs, Beach Boys songs. Mainly stuff like that, and they're just really good. They're just super talented, and they play their own instruments. And it's weird because it's like every time I see them, almost they're playing a different instrument. Like one will play guitar and drums, and then one will play like the cello, and then it's just one's playing piano. It's just really remarkable how much talent these 2 girls have. So yeah, they're
cool.
Yeah, they're called the Mona Lisa Twins.
Last but not least, give me something, anything, literally anything within.
Okay, are you familiar with this is a Twitch streamer. He's also on YouTube, and his name is Penguins or Moist Critical.
It sounds familiar, but I can't say I am. I know. I think not.
Yeah,
So,
on YouTube.
Is it spelled like actual penguins, or is it like
it's
something?
Yeah, it's penguin. It's Penguins 0, and Penguins is with a Z.
Yeah.
And what I recommend is the cooking. I think everything he does is great, but the cooking the cooking videos, and his videos are only like 10 minutes long a piece. But he has
0.
Right.
Cooking videos, and I'll check out some of his other stuff, but especially you're saying watch the cooking videos.
Yes, I think he has playlists of like just the cooking videos, or like he does these videos about one of his niches is like there's this competition where guys just slap the shit out of each other as hard as they can.
I think I've seen those videos.
There's a slapping competition, and like that's one of the things that like he covers. He covers a lot. But the cooking videos, he watches Cooking with Jack, Cooking with Kay, and I forgot the other one.
Somebody who uploads pretty regularly.
He uploads like twice a day.
Oh wow!
And I think he streams He also does movie reviews that are really great, and he also streams on Twitch. I've never
I like
seen.
that. I don't follow any Twitch streamers. I don't even have a Twitch or anything.
I don't either. I've never seen any of his Twitch streams, but he's on YouTube. So, and he's got like 2 million subscribers on YouTube. So he's one of the very few like huge channels that I follow. But he is fucking hysterical, man.
All right, I'm looking forward.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
I've got a lot of I got a lot of work to do this week and traveling, but there are going to be nights where I have nothing to do for a long time, and I'm going to be able to blast through a lot of these.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited. I'm going to check out Ozark on TV. You didn't even talk much about.
Okay, well, I'll give you a quick. It's basically Jason Bateman is the star of it, and he's totally going against character where he's playing like an accountant for a cartel, and he's stealing all this money.
Netflix loves their cartel.
They do, they really do, and he basically takes his family to the like Ozark. Was it Ozark, Kansas or Missouri or something? He basically was in Chicago, and they had to get his family the fuck out of Chicago because like this cartel is looking for him, and it's just it's got Jason Bateman and it's got Laura Linney in it, so pretty good cast. And I think after the first couple episodes, I think you're going to be hooked. I think season 3 is just about to start. I think it starts the end of the month, maybe. So it's either I don't.
It's still going. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's still going. But yeah, check out like season 1, the first couple episodes. After the second or third episode, like you're either gonna like it or you're gonna hate it. So
okay, well, yeah, I'm down to give it a fair shot. That's the thing about this show is like I'll push through more than I normally would.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because of the recommendations. So
sure.
Yeah, great. Well, I've got everything I need. So do you.
Me too. I'm ready.
This is going to be it for us today. We'll meet back in a week and discuss what we did or didn't like. Thank you so much again for joining me. This has been a blast. I will talk to you then.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Take care. Subscribe to Clobbering Time if you already haven't, and we'll catch you then. And we're back. Another short week. We both had some free time this week to get things done and check out the suggestions the other person has made. This is going to be one of my favorite part 2s to record because I really enjoyed a lot of the things I was suggested. Not that I haven't before, but I was just surprised at how I've seemed to have missed these things in my life that otherwise are totally up my alley. Clobber, thank you for joining me again. How have you been?
I've been great, man, and same. I really look forward to this as well, just to talk about the stuff that you've recommended. You hit the ball out of the park with these recommendations, man.
Excellent. Where would you like to start?
We could start movies if you'd like.
All right, sounds good. I checked out the now I know comedy classic Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which I have through some cosmic mystery have managed to avoid watching growing up, considering it has some of my favorite actors in it and is totally something you'd see on like ABC Family around Thanksgiving or Christmas time. I liked it. It was funny and about as perfectly, it captures that era and time very well, and what was funny and how Steve Martin delivers his comedy is just always going to be great. The script and the idea I thought was cool. I really liked it. There's parts of the movie you can really tell where they just like let the camera go and he's like, all right, just be as obnoxious as possible.
Yes, right.
Make as many noises, as many gestures as you can to be as distracting and noisy as possible. I got a big kick out of that. Also, what is this cast? I kept seeing like cameos of like really now big named actors. Like, I think Kevin Bacon was in the beginning of the movie for like
Yeah,
10
Kevin
seconds.
Bacon was the guy who stole Steve Martin's cab.
What the heck is that? There was like a couple different instances of that. I thought that was funny. It turned out to be insanely wholesome, too, at the end. It had a nice little ending as well. I won't give anything away if you are also in the 1% of people that hadn't seen this, but thank you for getting me to get around to seeing this now. So,
Well, my pleasure. Yeah, it's definitely a favorite of mine, and I think we talked about it earlier that I'm surprised that it isn't more of a like holiday classic, and I think that's due to just one scene. You know what I mean? And now you know what the scene I'm talking about is.
right.
I think you would be seeing that get played on TBS or TNT constantly around Thanksgiving, around the holidays, had it not been for that one scene. I mean, that one scene was what gave it the movie an R rating. But that said, you can't. That's a classic scene. You can't take that scene out.
It is integral. Yes, I agree.
It's my favorite scene. My favorite scene
I'd
in the movie.
love to hear the made-for-TV edited version where he keeps saying "frick."
Yeah, that's about what it is. Yeah. Honestly, I would rather them just like censor it out than like replace it with a frick or a freak, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather them just censor it.
It would come out of nowhere, the bleeping, but I think that would also be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too.
All right. What did you have to check out this week?
So the movie I watched was, okay, I don't know if I got the title. Is it Circle or The Circle?
I'm pretty sure it's just Circle.
Circle. It's on Netflix, and I guess did you give a brief description? I don't remember, but if you didn't,
I just described it vaguely as like this thriller, horror kind of it's a mystery. You're trying to figure out what's going on.
yeah, and it's crazy. Like I'm not giving anything away by saying that somebody drops dead about every 30 seconds in this movie. So yeah, basically got 50 people in this room, and every I think they say 10 minutes in the movie, but it feels a lot longer than or a lot shorter than that. One of them gets just destroyed, and it's basically all these people voting for who's next. It's a crazy movie, and once you start like kind of identifying with a character, bam, it seems like they're gone. But
did you have any guesses as to who was going to make it to the end?
I did, and I was completely wrong.
It's a great character study film. Like, it's very much a character-driven thing where and they're not all super stereotypes of already existing tropes. And it's a great example of if you're going to take any lesson from this, sometimes it's best to just shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes abstaining is the way to go.
The more you try to talk yourself out of something you've done or talk yourself up very unnecessarily, the more people are suspicious of you.
Right. Or the more people, or the more likely you are to say something that'll just piss somebody off.
I'm glad you liked it. It really is a hidden gem. Nobody I know has heard of it, but that's...
Yeah, I hadn't.
Circle. It's around.
It's on Netflix. Just put in Circle on Netflix and you'll see it.
It's around.
There you are. Okay. I get lost sometimes. This professional broadcasting from Heisenberg.
Oh, you know it, man.
I can't have that on my channel.
How about we discuss music?
Yes, sure.
Why don't you go first?
All right, you suggested Pogo to me, and when I first started hearing it, I was apprehensive, and I was like, man, is this did he recommend techno to me? But once I started listening, and you did one album in particular, was it called Underneath, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, and it was fantastic. And I get how some people say that the songs kind of all blend together, but for me, they really didn't. You can easily tell where like one song would stop and another song would start, but it does have a really nice flow as far as like the tracks on the album. And I actually enjoyed it so much that I started looking into some of the other stuff that he did, and he's done some pretty great stuff. You sent me the Disney one, and then he does these these mixes where he uses lines from Pulp Fiction, he uses The Shining, and it's so good, and he uses the lines so perfectly. And the fact that he, in the Pulp Fiction one, he isolated Uma Thurman's singing the "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon" song.
Yeah.
So that, like, because in the movie you can barely hear her.
Yeah, it's surprising how well produced some of these are and how much attention to detail there is. It's about Plunderphonics is about sound and often just ignores lyrics, but you can still get meaning out of a song without it actually having any words in it or any coherent words. I'm sure you realize a lot of what you were listening to most of the time was kind of gibberish.
Yeah. A lot of gibberish and clips from movies seem to be the two things that I heard the most lyric-wise. He's
crazy talented. Like, I couldn't imagine how meticulous that process must be.
Oh, man. And just the way he gets the audio clips to kind of, like, blend together to make a
play with each other.
Yeah, to basically tell a story. That's what impressed me the most. I did love the album that you recommended to me, but I thoroughly recommend the Pulp Fiction stuff, the stuff that he did with the movie quotes.
Yes.
The Shining one, the Pulp Fiction one, the Disney one.
Can we
fantastic.
Go back for a second, because I always forget to do this after talking about something. We want to give it a rating. To go back to the movie, Planes, Trains, Automobile, I was going to give a 7.5.
Okay.
And what would you give Circle?
I think Circle, I'd go maybe. I think I'm about the same. I think I would go a 7, a solid 7. I'm kind of torn between 6.5 and 7.
Right. And how about the music?
The music, again, some stuff I liked more than others, so I'm gonna go with a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 because the movie stuff that he did was fantastic. The album was, while good, didn't reach that that high level for me. So I'm going to go with a 6 on the music.
Okay. My musical endeavor involved another light pogo YouTube musician or set of musicians, the Mona Lisa Twins. 2 female singers who are insanely talented in terms of music. You can tell that they probably went to school. I don't know how much you know about them personally, but I'm going to guess they went to school for music or music theory or music education or something because of their strong sense of not only how to play an instrument, but also how to play many instruments.
Yeah.
Which you said was pretty impressive, and I was surprised at as well. I listened to a couple of tracks of theirs. Singing is pretty damn good. It's about an A+. They got some great set of pipes on them. The instrument playing is, like you said, is probably the most impressive thing that anybody can not only play but also master so many instruments, which is so cool. I listened to the one I really liked was their cover of the Zombies' "Time of the Season," which is like one of my favorite songs. I always love covers of songs that I like. I don't ever really try to say one's better than the other. They're all different. But I really like that. Their art, presentation, and editing skills were also pretty cool. I was surprised with the visuals that they would have some of these things. They have a big Christmas catalog, and I can tell this is exactly the type of alternative stuff that you should be listening to around Christmas time. They had a pretty impressive Christmas catalog. So the strange thing is, as much as I did like it, it really isn't anything that I normally would listen to on my own. I listen to maybe 1 or 2 channels on YouTube that do different covers of different songs in different styles, but for what I did listen to and what I checked out, I actually really enjoyed it. I'd give it, as fans of music and music on YouTube, probably around an 8.
Nice. Oh, good. Yeah, and their father was a studio musician, so I assume that
there it is.
That they probably learned from him growing up. Plus, he was around. They've been their whole life been around musicians. So, and they also have original songs too, which are pretty fantastic.
What a neat thing to take advantage of as a child.
Yeah, it's like you said, it was crazy with just the different instruments. Like there's one video, I'm like, did you just bust out a harp? Are you playing a harp right now? It's
Do
just
you not know how to play harp?
well.
You never had harp lessons?
I'm a bit rusty. It's been, you know, of course, who didn't take harp lessons in elementary school, but it hasn't been since elementary school.
I gave that up to pursue the accordion, obviously, and the pipe organ.
Yeah, you're talking about some stuff I did when I was a juvenile, and back then I was a juvenile.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
That little JP dub for you, baby.
You just can't escape it sometimes.
No, you can't. You really can't.
Well, that's good. Okay, so far we're 2 for 2 on things that we've sort of explored and liked. How about television?
I think both of us are going to have these two pretty high rated. So I watched Nathan For You, which is basically a show where this guy walks around to these small businesses and he wants to quote unquote help them with new strategies. It's basically new marketing ideas. The episodes that you had me watch were the Santa episode where he wants the mall to do Christmas in July, basically.
But there's an issue.
So that kids can... Yeah, there's a slight issue because Santa's has a few blemishes on his arrest record. And he tends to tote guns around with him.
As Santa would, I guess.
Big guns. He's not walking around with a little 22.
This isn't a character, by the way. This is a real mall Santa and an actual person who dresses up like Santa professionally.
Right, but looks like Santa 24/7. Like he doesn't shave after Christmas. This guy is living as Santa basically 24/7.
What a life.
Yeah, right. Was that the one? See, I forgot which ones were part of
so
which.
that one in the first season, the Santa one, also had the petting zoo.
The petting zoo, right. Which probably gave me my biggest laugh when first of all, he had these workers sign non-disclosure agreements by penalty of death.
Wait, you gotta tell me the idea, though.
Oh, right. Okay, so basically he wanted to make a viral video where a hero pig from the petting zoo saves a goat. Obviously, like they couldn't just leave that to nature to do, so they kind of just set up like a little track, and they basically had divers
like 30 people
pushing the pig along and pushing the goat along. Right. So yeah, he had this whole group of people to set this thing up. He had everybody on the set sign non-disclosure agreements, and he threw death penalty in there just to throw it in. And there was even one guy one guy wouldn't sign it, and he took him over to like a train track, and was the implication that he was going to push him in front of a train.
Is all real
I swear
stuff. This is not scripted.
Yeah, that's what made it so funny. Like the guy's just like,
it's like the least intimidating person I could ever imagine.
Oh, right. And that's the other thing is that this guy is probably like 6'1" and like 130 pounds. And he's trying to intimidate these like Teamsters and these like probably veterans. Cause I think that's what the diver said that they were. And he takes them to the train tracks. Oh my God, man. That was the funniest thing ever.
But then success. Kind of.
Yeah, sort of. Only, not so much for the petting zoo.
just a little personal victory there because he fooled everybody. And if you continue watching this series, a couple of times he's done some stunts like that have made national headlines.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot more of the. You gave me those two, and well, there was one episode, and then the other ones was it the funeral home?
Was it the ghost realtor?
The realtor, the ghost realtor, where he finds some of these people. I like the exorcist that he found and the medium. Where he finds those people were fucking crazy, and it was so funny. And was that also the auto mechanic one?
Yes.
Okay, right. So the auto mechanic, where he hooks auto mechanics up to lie detector tests when they're doing an estimate.
Which is, I mean, completely impractical, but a genuinely good idea.
Yo, definitely. But my favorite was the testing of the where they keep asking him if the host Nathan he'd be strapped in and they would ask Nathan questions to test it, and they kept asking him if he's ever masturbated to pornography on the internet, and he of course says no, and then he completely says, well, I don't know how valid this test is, but we'll do it anyway.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, like 3 times.
Just to be clear, this test isn't totally perfect because I was in it the other day and they asked if I watch pornography, and it said I did, but I really don't. So.
Yeah. Some of the stuff this Nathan guy does, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten his ass kicked.
That's right. Yeah, he must have some security on standby.
Yeah, because I like I said, I watched more episodes of it. One was a pizza one, and a vandalism one. It's just crazy, and he again, he's so funny, and he's so deadpan, which makes it even funnier. I love that show. Yeah, that show is definitely a 9 for me.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I was definitely waiting to recommend that to somebody, and I knew it was going to be a good fit for you. So definitely keep one. I can give you some more suggestions for like really, really good. They're all great, but some really good episodes. But I'm so happy you liked it.
I've been plugging through more every day, man.
And speaking of marathoning television, again, something I just can't believe passed me by is Ozark on Netflix, which has some serious Breaking Bad vibes to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's basically, it's sort of there are a lot of parallels to Breaking Bad, but because it's a Netflix show, you can tell they can get away with a lot more than AMC ever could. It's so engaging. By the first episode, I was hooked, which is good, because I hate when somebody says, like, oh, check out this show, just get through the first couple episodes, they're not that good, gets better. Even Breaking Bad's first half of the first season is pretty good. It's not perfect, but this one right away, not only was the pilot good, but I had my doubts, like, okay, they blow their budget on the first episode, they go way too big and way too crazy, and then everything's going to be really slow after that, a slow build-up. Nah, there was exciting things happening throughout the whole series, every single episode. I've gone through about 6 or 7 episodes now.
Yeah.
They're long episodes too, and I just kept wanting to keep going and going. I really enjoyed it, and I was excited to hear that there's another season coming
the end of the month.
Very soon, so I was happy I didn't get this and then they immediately cancel it,
yeah,
because I would have been upset. But that's got a 9.5, I would say. I was enjoying it more and more as the episodes went on. I would, instead of, sometimes I'll like lose interest over time if the story isn't moving in a fast enough or good enough fashion, but now it's doing a great job of keeping me engaged, and I think I'll have to continue.
I probably wouldn't have even watched it had it not been for Jason. I'm a big Jason Bateman fan, and first of all, he's unbelievable in this and completely against anything that he's ever done before. That's what I love about.
As was the case with Bryan.
I was just going to say, just the casting of both Breaking Bad and Ozark. It's just spot on.
Can I confess something to you? When you first told me about it and you said Jason Bateman, I got it mixed up and thought it was Jason Statham. And when I watched it and Jason Statham wasn't there, I was like, where's Jason Statham?
I can understand being disappointed by that.
There was nothing disappointing about it, but I'm like, oh, he definitely said Bateman, didn't he? I'm like, I'm an idiot. But definitely recommend that. Anybody?
It would be a lot different show with Jason Statham in it.
As a Midwesterner Chicago guy with his accent that he's got in.
Right.
Yeah, but for no reason.
He probably wouldn't have been as easy to intimidate as Jason Bateman.
Exactly. So the last thing we talked about was getting you to sign up for Disney Plus to get it to check out, and me. Now this YouTuber, streamer, Twitch guy you wanted me to recommend, how is it? Penguin Zero? Yeah,
it's Penguins with a Z and then the number 0.
So this is kind of a half coincidence here. He must have another channel, like a second channel. Do you know?
He has a bunch. He has a bunch of channels.
That's it, because I knew I've seen this guy before several times, and he is hilarious. His same thing, like deadpan delivery, makes things so funny, and you can tell he likes what he does and likes what he talks about. Some of the cooking videos, like you recommended, were great. I had a great laugh out of it, and I was happy to see somebody that looked familiar, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, yeah, I definitely know this guy. That's good to know that he does have because I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to one of the channels.
Yeah, I don't know if he has other channels on YouTube. I know he's on Twitch as Moist Critical.
Right. Lovely. If anybody's looking for a semi-mainstream, very funny streamer, YouTuber who does a lot of weird videos and talks about a lot of weird things, that's where you should start. I'd recommend that. In terms of YouTube channels, probably 7.5.
Yeah, he's all like, if there's one particular video like or topic that you don't like, just wait around, because he basically he spans a variety of topics. He does
everything.
Cooking stuff. He does the slapping thing. He's doing Corona, but like he also does really good movie reviews. So I think he does. He uploads the movie reviews to YouTube as well. So
having a good character and good editing skills will get you very, very far on this platform.
Yeah, and he has like 25 or 2.5 million subscribers or something like that. He's definitely in the millions. So.
Well earned.
Yeah, no, he's great, man. He's great.
Okay, well, I'm anxious to hear what you've checked out, what you liked or didn't like on the Disney Plus app.
Okay, so I did cheat a little bit with the Disney Plus. I was over at my mom's house, and she has Disney Plus, because I have two nieces, your age, that I think the world of.
Right.
And my mom just had surgery, so I've been hanging out there this weekend and during the week a little bit, so I kind of just watched it there. And I think Disney Plus is cool. I think it's great. It's maybe something I would look into getting, but I don't know that what I watched, I didn't watch The Mandalorian. I didn't watch any of their original stuff. I kind of just watched stuff that I had already seen. Definitely binged The Simpsons.
Yeah, my experience has been good for three things: The Mandalorian, The Simpsons, and just like a nostalgia trip from some Disney classics. But mostly The Simpsons. And
yeah, for me it was The Simpsons and just some of the Marvel movies are basically what I watched. And yeah, I did watch some of the old school the Pixar stuff.
It's an impressive catalog, and it's going to keep growing. And I'm really, really excited for WandaVision and Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those are going to be there's a couple Marvel projects in the works that are going to be cool. Would you consider getting it then?
You know what? I think if they expand even more, if they start putting some of the 20th Century Fox stuff on there, then I would most definitely get it. But the fact that it's, everything has to be PG-13 on there, or it's not going to be on there, I don't know. I just think that kind of limits the enjoyment that I would get out of it.
They can do that. There's a chance that they might expand their catalog like that. I would thought, since they own so many other properties and other streaming platforms, that they're just going to dump what they can't put on their big platform, just offload it to Hulu.
Right. Yeah, I would probably consider like the bundle that they have with where you get Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN. That would probably be more likely, but it really wouldn't be for the Disney Plus. Well, I did enjoy going down memory lane and then watching The Simpsons. I don't think I would use it for much more than Simpsons and Marvel.
That's pretty much all I've used it for so far.
Yeah. As far as a rating on that, I'm right in the middle. I'm going to give it like a 5.
I think that's pretty fair. And there's still time to see if they add anything worth checking out or changing. But as fun as this has been, I'm a little upset we got to end our call here. I am excited, though, to start editing or continue editing our video so I can get it up hopefully pretty soon. This was a blast, and this was a long time coming. I wanted to do something really cool with you, especially because I really admire your channel and the stuff you do, and we have, as we've noted now, very similar tastes in a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely.
So I gotta say, next time I'm in Chicago, I'm definitely gonna come and we're gonna hang out and get some pizza soup.
Yeah, yes,
however,
yes.
Whatever you call
You're gonna eat it the proper way.
Right, with a spoon.
Yeah, you're gonna eat pizza the way it's supposed to be eaten, with a spoon.
Well, thank you. Is there anything you want to say? Send us off on. If you have anything on your channel you'd like to promote real quick, now would be the time to do that.
Well, just my Sunday show every Sunday at 6:30 Central Time. I am doing Lauren stuff, and yeah, that's about it. That's about it. As far as like regular stuff, you could always catch me. I'll be doing a lot more stuff with other Predators, so I live stream a lot, or as much as I can.
Commentary. He doesn't actually work with the Predators.
I like to think of it as working with the Predators, especially in Lauren's case.
Through a much more spiritual
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's about it.
Well, this was a blast. Thank you so much. I can't recommend him, his channel, and the things that we talked about today enough. I look forward to uploading this and hopefully having some more episodes in the near future. Please like, subscribe if you want to keep checking them out. And I will see you guys next time. So thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.